there is a question that quietly follows almost every indoor cat owner. Did I protect my cat, or did I take something important away from them? That question usually appears when your cat stares through a window, watches a bird cross the yard, or sits beside the front door as though an entire life is waiting on the other side. It is easy to look at that moment and imagine frustration. It is easy to call the outdoors freedom and the house a limitation. But that comparison is based on a human idea of happiness, not a cat's. To understand what an indoor life really gives a cat, we have to stop judging their world by its size and start judging it by what their nervous system actually values: safety, familiarity, control, dependable resources, and a trusted relationship. First, an indoor cat lives in a world they can completely understand. Humans are often energized by change. We travel, explore unfamiliar places, and look for new experiences. Cats are not built around that same desire. Their confidence comes from knowing exactly what belongs in their territory and what is supposed to happen next. That is why a cardboard box arriving in the living room requires a full security inspection. It is why a chair moved to the opposite wall can become the day's biggest event. A cat is constantly updating a detailed map of smells, sounds, exits, hiding places, food locations, resting areas, and possible threats. For a cat to feel secure, three things matter enormously. The territory must feel safe, essential resources must be reliable, and the cat must have some control over where they go and how they respond. There are no unfamiliar cats appearing overnight to claim part of the hallway. Food and water do not depend on whether hunting was successful. A warm sleeping place does not disappear because the weather changed. Your cat knows which room becomes sunny in the morning, which shelf is quiet in the afternoon, and where to retreat when visitors arrive. Repeating the same routine does not automatically mean they are bored. When your cat returns to one window at the same hour each day, you may be watching confidence, not disappointment. They know that space. They have learned it so thoroughly that they can relax inside it. Outside, nearly everything is less predictable. Territory is shared and challenged. Food may be available one day and gone the next. Strange animals, engines, voices, construction, weather, and unfamiliar scents can appear without warning. Even when an outdoor cat looks calm, part of their attention must remain available for danger. That does not mean the outdoors offers nothing enjoyable. Fresh air, moving leaves, insects, grass, sunlight, and new scents can all be enriching. The difference is that those experiences do not need to come with uncontrolled risk. A secured balcony, a screened window, a catio, supervised garden time, or leash training can provide stimulation while keeping the environment manageable. Second, living indoors can change the depth of your relationship. Adult cats do not normally use constant meowing as their main way of communicating with other adult cats. Much of that vocal behavior is directed toward people. Over time, cats learn which sounds make us look at them, follow them, open a door, refill a bowl, or provide attention. They recognize patterns you may not notice yourself. They know the difference between the footsteps that usually lead toward the kitchen and the footsteps that mean you are leaving the room. They can identify the sound of your vehicle, the timing of your morning routine, and the small movements you make before feeding them. An outdoor cat has far more competing demands on their attention. They may be tracking another animal, guarding a route, searching for prey, avoiding conflict, or checking changes across a much larger area. Home can still matter deeply to them, but it is one location among many. For an indoor cat, you are not simply the person waiting at one stop along a daily patrol. You are a central part of the territory itself. That concentration of attention creates countless small interactions, following you between rooms, sleeping nearby, answering when you speak, waiting outside the bathroom, sitting on whatever object currently requires your full attention, and appearing before you have even finished opening the door. Research on cat behavior has shown that many cats form real attachment bonds with their caregivers. They can use a familiar person as a source of security, much as a young child uses a trusted parent when exploring or recovering from stress. Third, the difference in survival is impossible to ignore. Indoor cats commonly live around 12 to 18 years, and many reach their 20s. That is not a guarantee, of course. Genetics, diet, veterinary care, illness, body weight, and chance still matter. But a protected environment removes several major causes of early death. Comparing indoor cats with cats allowed to roam is harder than it first appears. Outdoor cats may vanish without anyone learning what happened. There may be no veterinary examination, no documented injury, and no confirmed cause of death. A cat simply stops returning, leaving behind a family and an unanswered question. When those disappearances are never recorded, the statistics can never tell the complete story. A clearer picture comes from cats that survive entirely outdoors without consistent human care. Stray and feral cats frequently live only 2 to 5 years, and many die younger. They have the same senses, reflexes, claws, and instincts as a house cat. What they do not have is protection from the environment. At night, a driver may not see them until there is no time to stop. A coyote or roaming dog does not view them as a skilled predator. Fleas and ticks can carry disease. Contact with infected cats can expose them to feline leukemia virus or feline immunodeficiency virus. Territorial fights can create small puncture wounds that seal over, trap bacteria, and become dangerous abscesses before anyone notices. Common substances can also become deadly. Antifreeze can attract animals because of its taste, yet even a small amount can cause fatal poisoning. Rodent poison may be stored in a shed or garage, or a cat may be harmed after catching an animal that consumed it. A garden, driveway, workshop, or neighbor's property can contain hazards an owner never knows were there. The most frightening part is that these threats rarely provide a second chance. There is no announcement that tonight's route is different, that a gate has been left open, or that poison has been placed nearby. A cat leaves as usual, and sometimes the familiar return never happens. Fourth, you are spared the uncertainty that outdoor cat owners eventually experience. Picture standing outside late at night, calling into a street or garden, listening for a collar bell or waiting for movement beyond the porch light. You do not know whether your cat is exploring, trapped, injured, frightened, or simply ignoring you. Sometimes they return 5 minutes later. Sometimes the waiting continues until morning. And sometimes there is never a clear answer. Indoor cat owners can become so familiar with knowing where their cat is that they stop recognizing it as a privilege. At home, a missing cat usually means someone has discovered the inside of a cupboard, the space under a bed, or a hiding place behind furniture that apparently did not exist yesterday. Your cat can locate you as easily as you can locate them. Their entire living area is known, contained, and shared with the people they trust. There are no constantly shifting borders to defend, and no unknown animals leaving messages at the edges of the territory. Finally, indoor life gives you access to the information your cat is biologically programmed to hide. Cats evolved in a difficult position. They are hunters, but they are also small enough to become prey. In nature, obvious weakness can attract danger. Because of that, cats became exceptionally good at concealing pain and illness. They do not hide discomfort to mislead you, and they are not waiting until the last moment because they distrust you. Their body is following an ancient survival rule. Continue behaving normally for as long as possible. This is one reason feline illness can be difficult to detect. By the time a cat looks visibly sick, a medical problem may already be advanced. Some conditions can develop quietly for months and occasionally much longer before dramatic symptoms appear. A cat may begin drinking more. The litter box may contain larger urine clumps or need cleaning more often. Food may be left behind. Weight may decrease, even though the cat still seems interested in meals. They may choose an unusual sleeping location, vomit more frequently, or visit the litter box repeatedly. A cat entering the box, straining, and producing little or no urine needs urgent veterinary attention. A urinary blockage can become life-threatening very quickly. Conditions such as kidney disease, diabetes, thyroid disorders, and urinary problems often reveal themselves through these small patterns before a cat appears seriously unwell. For a roaming cat, the evidence can be spread across an entire neighborhood. They may drink outdoors, urinate in soil, vomit beneath plants, eat somewhere else, or rest in a hidden place when they feel unwell. Their owner sees only the portion of the day that happens at home. The water bowl becomes a record of drinking habits. The food dish shows changes in appetite. The scale can reveal slow weight loss. The litter box provides daily information about urine and stool. Even a change in preferred sleeping places can tell you that something deserves attention. Cleaning the litter box is not just household maintenance. It gives you information no animal can explain in words. Refilling water is not only care, it lets you notice when consumption changes. Seeing your cat every day allows you to recognize small differences before they become impossible to miss. And with many illnesses, earlier detection can completely change what happens next. Finding a condition soon may mean treatment, monitoring, and several more comfortable years together. Finding it late may leave far fewer options, a territory they know, resources they can depend on, a person they have learned to trust, protection from traffic, predators, poison, infection, and fights. A home where changes in their health are far more likely to be noticed. Their life may cover fewer streets, but it can contain more safety, more certainty, more connection, and far more time. For many cats, it is the reason they get to keep coming back to you, year after year.